Yeah, good afternoon all. Am I audible? Yeah,
Yes, sir.
we are about to start. We are just waiting for guest speaker to join in a minute or two. So bear with us.
Hello, good afternoon. Dr. Sain, I have joined. Trupti Khedkar here.
Yeah, Dr. Trupti, welcome. We are just waiting for Dr. Rukmini also to join in. And,
Yeah, sure.
So good afternoon all. While we wait for Dr. Rukmini Krishnamurthy, the guest speaker for today, to join in, I'll start with the initial few words. I welcome you all on behalf of Maharashtra University of Health Sciences. And we have this series of lecture series which we have titled as Genetics, a Comprehensive Approach to Health Lectures. I'll request those who are not, please mute your audio. Yeah. So this is the second of this year's 2024 lecture series, and the topic for today's talk is applications on forensic DNA in high-profile crime cases. And I'll just quickly tell the order in which we are going to go in this today's presentation. We will initially have Professor Sandeep Kadu, our Controller of Examiners, who will introduce the guest speaker and briefly about the subject. Thereafter, we will have Dr. Trupti Khedkar, who will join. She's Associate Professor from Nagpur in Navira Mahavidyalaya, and she happens to be a student of Dr. Rukmini, and she'll present a brief talk on the technical aspects of today's talk. And then we will have Dr. Rukmini Krishnamurthy, who will speak on the actual topic. So, a word about Dr. Sandeep Kadu, like you all are aware, most of you, that he's a controller of examiners, Maharashtra University of Health Sciences. He's a vast teaching experience, especially in, so 2 minutes I'll speak. With a lot of research and medical education, he's authored multiple books, chapters, and publications, and all of us should know that he has many patents and copyrights to his name. So I will request Dr. Kadu to introduce Dr. Rukmini without wasting any further time.
Can I just jump in for 2 minutes? Yeah,
Sorry,
so he's also got the blueprints done for the MUHS and very active in medical education. But Saurav, before we go to the talk for this talks, would you like to tell about Gene Health? I mean, we have so many people who have joined in. I don't think anyone really knows what you're doing there. So why not use the opportunity to tell about that?
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, just quickly about this, so we have this laboratory called MUHS Gene Health, which comes under the Department of Genetics, Immunology, Biochemistry, and Nutrition, and it functions in Shivaji Nagar, Pune, in a heritage building called Ghatpure Bungalow, which is just next to Hardikar Hospital. This was initially thought of Dr. Patil, sorry, please mute yourself. Those who are hello, am I audible? Yeah. So
Yes.
this was revived in 2022 November by and inaugurated in this particular location by the then Honorable Governor of Maharashtra, Mr. Koshyari ji. And to briefly, we had initial hiccups, problems, whatever, but I'm happy to inform, like any teaching institution, we have three aspects to it. To begin with patient care, where this center is looking after molecular testing for diseases related to genetics and genomics, specifically for hereditary disorders, for chromosomal anomalies, and also for cancer-related biomarkers. We have a chair professor, Dr. Anuradha Choble, who looks after the cancer genomics aspects, and we have two more teachers, that is Dr. Veena Gole, who looks after the chromosomal part of it, analysis as far as karyotyping is concerned, and we have Dr. Mansi Kunte, who works on the mutational analysis of diseases like sickle cell disease and thalassemia. Apart from patient care, we also offer two courses, one on certificate course for 6 months in diagnostics in as far as molecular testing is concerned, and also a fellowship course which marries up the diagnostics with the clinical aspects of genetics. And last but not least, of course, we are also greatly involved in the scientific research, wherein we have a very strong support from the university and our Honorable Vice Chancellor, wherein we are initiating multiple projects. To begin with small, but we are looking up to big time projects as far as the state is concerned, and special focus on the diseases, hereditary and cancer related, markers for the state of Maharashtra. So I will invite all of you to think about it, make, specific teams, and we will be more than happy to connect with all of you singly or as teams to carry forward any such research activities where you have some, thought about genetics and genomics. That much from this
Yeah.
center.
And more important, I think, which Saurav in his this thing has forgotten, is that those from government hospitals, medical colleges across the state, and for poor patients, we are doing these tests of absolutely nominal cost. And Dr. Saurav has worked out and organized it. So please get in touch with him to find out how those samples can reach there so that your patients get this service near free of cost. It's just 150, 300, 200, 300 rupees. They're getting genetic testing and molecular diagnostics. So I think that is the most important message we keep trying to pass on. And that is why it's not taking off, because people you all are not aware of this service having been created. So I think I would like to you all to help us take this forward.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, respected Honorable Vice Chancellor ma'am, respected Dr. Sen sir, and when I started my journey as a PG, MD Forensic Medicine, there are two legendary ladies. One is, and I have today honor to introduce Dr. Rukmini Krishnamurthy ma'am, as well as one of our from Mumbai, Dr. Apte ma'am. Are the two actually legendaries in the forensic sciences. Ladies at that time, 25 years back, no this lady want to take a forensic science field, but these are the two women or ladies who have done that job, and now it's a very honor to me to introduce our honorable respected Dr. Rukmini Krishnamurthy ma'am. She has done her MSc PhD, MBA, as well as she is a fellow of United Nations. Now she is the chairperson and CEO of Helic Advisory Limited, Mumbai, academic council member of National Forensic Science University, Gujarat, ex-director of FSL, Government of Maharashtra, ex-technical of FSL, Government of Maharashtra, and ex-senate member of the Mumbai University. Madam has visited more than 7 countries. She has published more than 110 research publications, and she had received 12 national and 1 international awards, including Best Forensic Director, Lifetime Achievement in Forensic Field from Government of India. Madam has handled many sensitive cases and solved many mysteries, forensic mysteries, with the help of the DNA fingerprinting, such as 1990 Mumbai blast cases, Telgistan cases, blast cases of Ghatkopar, then Nagpur Nextile murder, Kingfisher Airlines, so and so on. Many cases, and Madam is going to tell about in detail about the sensitive cases, how she has handled these cases and come to that the accused should get punished. Then the important one is that Dr. Krishnamurthy Madam has also engaged by the HarperCollins publisher to share her the journey of 50 years in forensics in a story from to shed light on the darkest corners of the crime, thereby helping the criminal justice system to provide crime-free society. So, on the behalf of Maharashtra University of Health Sciences, our Gene Health Lab, and on our Honorable VC Madam, I am very thankful to respected Dr. Krishnamurthy Ma'am for sparing her a valuable time to deliver her important and very interesting session on the DNA fingerprinting. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you very much.
I'll request Dr. Trupti Kadekar to give a brief overview of the technical aspects, and then we'll come to Dr. Rukmini, please.
May I start?
Yes,
Excuse
please.
me, I would just like to say a few words before Dr. Tripti starts. Dr. Tripti is PhD in DNA of wild animals, and she had worked in forensic laboratory. She's a core biotechnology person. I, being an analytical person who have set up DNA labs and handled all sensitive cases, I thought it would be very ethical to ask Dr. Dipti to talk about the technical thing of it, and I'll be handling all the important cases which we have done and solved by DNA. So Dr. Dipti, please continue.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll start sharing my screen. Is it visible now?
Not yet.
No. झेंडे साहेब तुमचे तिथे जे मुले आहेत ते मदत करा त्यांना. मॅडम
Yes.
एकदा तुम्ही परत स्टॉप शेअर करा आणि परत शेअर करा बघा बरं.
Okay.
Is she in our MUHS campus?
No.
No, then how can the India help her, no? Have you not got the sharing rights, Dr. Tripti?
Well, I do, but
Then you just
Let me
click
check.
on the share screen green icon
okay.
at the floating
ते मुली
Got-
असतील बोलो.
tab downstairs. At the bottom end, you have a share screen
उनका
icon,
नंबर
green icon.
Tripti, do you want me to share your link in case I can do it? Email में जाकर वो Tripti का email.
Or we could, if Madam Rukmini
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
give the initial, no, we can start with the cases and then the technical thing we can go to later till she gets her act together.
ये Tripti का देखो email में. 1 minute, I'm trying to load her email. This thing I have it.
Okay.
Not invitation. Tripti का वो. अरे ये आया नहीं इधर. She had sent the DNA testing. No, she has sent the complete thing. Can we open it? No, उसने भेजा था तुमको मैं.
Respected Madam, as Honorable VC Madam has told, you can start your own
Okay,
presentation.
I'll start mine.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay. Share में जो और ये नीचे इधर है. Let's go presentation. Person. Okay. So as all of you all know, I'm going to take a small trip across the forensic setup and what it does, so that we get to know how the forensic works. As all of us know, forensic, the very word comes from discussion in the open court. And in India, the burden of prosecution, burden of proof is on the prosecution. Now, the various types of evidences are direct, indirect, circumstances, corroborative. Whereas DNA evidences is always taken as a direct evidences. You don't require an eyewitness for a DNA proof. Then you have different type of evidences like physical, it can be material, it can be human or virtual with the present digital crimes. And all the forensic reports are admissible under Section 45 of Evidence Act. And 293 is a section where if government report goes, they don't have to go for the मैं तुमको मैं तुमको डालती हूँ. एक वीडियो है क्या तुम्हारा? Okay, I'll do that. Okay, jaldi se. So now coming to what forensic, it's a multidisciplinary. The scientific evidences are actual incident, how it occurs, it goes, directly links the crime with the criminal, fixes up the offenses, enlightens the mode of operandi, establish the fact by scientific evidences and cannot be denied, and it is not time limited. And hence, it's a very important tool in the hands of law enforcement and judges. The general setup in the country is we have central laboratories at Hyderabad, Kolkata, Chandigarh, Pune, Bhopal, and CBI laboratory at Delhi, and all the states have their own forensic laboratory and regional laboratory. In Mumbai, you have the head office in Maharashtra, in Mumbai, then Nagpur, Aurangabad, Nasik, Amravati, Solapur, Kolhapur also added. Very sad affair. The forensic laboratories were in a very, very penitent condition when reform of criminal justice system took place, where Dr. Malimat said that the laboratories should upgrade, and that is how central government gives modernization fund to all the laboratories, and thereby we were also trained how to handle such huge amount of fundings and administrative at the Administrative Staff College of India. All the director of the country was of forensic laboratory were trained how to handle and do administration with huge funding and finance. And this is how most of the laboratory, this is Mumbai laboratory, which is of analytical and biological grade. All important equipments were purchased and people were trained abroad to handle these. Mainly we have toxicology, biology with DNA, chemistry, physics, then narcoanalysis, brain electrical oscillation, polygraph, forensic acoustic, then tape authentication, cyber forensic, and all these type of works are going on. In digital, mainly we have cyber forensic, mobile forensic, speaker identification, authentication of tape and video. In forensic psychology, we have polygraphy, that is lie detector, brain signature for the profiling and that. Why I'm all telling this? Because in combination with DNA proves the case. You know, in a criminal case, more the evidence, more the connectivity and the scientific reconstruction of the cases only leads to conviction. Now, Dr. Alec Jeffrey, who is the father of forensic DNA, visited Mumbai laboratory, was very happy to see the setup, and he wished us very much success. And today, all the regional laboratory in the Maharashtra state has a DNA laboratory. The type of the cases which normally can be done is sexual offense, murder cases, missing person, victim identification, paternity case, immigration, then DNA of microbes in soil, DNA of wild animal, poaching and other things, and unique identification of individuals. Now, what are the type of the sample normally we handle with? Blood, semen, vaginal fluid, saliva, bone, bone marrow, tissue, teeth, amniotic fluid, hair, roots. So this is the very high-tech lab we have, which has a sequencer of 4-channel, 16-channel, and Bhushan, yala bolu, phone घ्यायला ओंकारला. So the type of the cases we can handle is rape, disputed paternity case, murder case, identification of remnant in disaster, or any other type of cases. Now, this is one of the very sensitive case where Sanjay Singh case, the very celebrity in Mumbai, whose son was after her to give the property before time, and she refused. So they had some phone chat. After that, he murdered her and he dumped her in a forest. While one of the foreigner was hiking, he could find the bones, and this was sent to the laboratory. Even after so many days, the DNA could be extracted, and it was connected with the son, thereby proving that the death has occurred. But further, the connectivity was received by the mobile phone where the chat had taken place, and then he agreed to it, and life imprisonment was given to her. This is again a case of a very famous Laila Khan actress, where the stepfather killed all the siblings 5 and the mother's wife, and the DNA tallied with the complete group that they were of the same sibling and the mother. And the another thing, what they wanted, whether Laila Khan was there or not, for which we did a facial computerized comparison and proved it. So as I said, along with DNA, many other techniques are required to prove things this. This is, you must have heard of Dr. Mahajan case, where his siblings murdered him for some money and cut into pieces and put in the ghat. And after some time, the bones were retrieved near the Karjat Ghat, and the laboratory could get the DNA and compare with his parents, thereby identifying that Dr. Mahajan was killed. Then some indication that last he met with his siblings, and that is how it could be done, and the scientific connectivity could be done by doing polygraph, and that is how the whole case could stand very strong along with the polygraph test, connecting that these are the person who murdered him and cut into pieces and put it. And the judgment was given for life imprisonment. So I'm going to give you different type of cases how DNA stood in absence of the eyewitness. This is a very big actor. All of you all know Ahuja. He raped his maidservant and refused to agree to it. Somehow that maidservant was very intelligent. She could collect the clothes and she kept it till the investigating people brought it to the laboratory and we could get the semen and other things comparing with the DNA of the accused. It took a long time to fight it out, but it did appear and he got 7 years as per the 376 rape IPC. Now, I think these are old ones, but they are very high level cases like Nitheria, you must be knowing, in a businessman's house, the servant used to call the children, all young children below 10, rape them, murder them, and bury them in the nearby garden and all. One of the girl, Payal, she somehow managed to run away from this and she could tell the villager what was happening in this particular case and how there were about 11 people, children were missing. After that, the investigating people bought the remnant. It was so tough, like, forensic is an area where you have to handle with all muck and dust. It's not a clean sample of blood or clean sample of any biological tissue and all. You have to do such a type of which Dr. Tripti will explain, the type of extraction we have to do, the cleaning, and then compare it with the parents, and we could find that all the 10 children's remnants were there. And it was such a horrible sight for us to have a look there. And finally, with all these reports, he could get death and the businessman's 7-year punishment for that. Now, Shakti Mill, you must have heard in Bombay, Shakti Mill is a very remote place right now because it's abandoned place. So a photojournalist was going around taking pictures and all when some 5 hooligans caught her. She was along with some colleagues. Those people were tied up and this girl was raped by all 5 of them. One of them happened to be Junawan, and all the DNA of all the 5 matched, and the 3 repeaters got death penalty, whereas the juvenile got punishment from the Juvenile Justice Board. So here, this is again a case where there is no eyewitness, but only it's a film star and a television executive who were having affairs, though the film star had an ex-Navy person as a boyfriend. He happened to come to the house at an odd time and find these 2 people into close proximity. So he got very angry with the kitchen knife. He cut the boyfriend into pieces. They went and burnt it in the nearby forest. But as you say, it's always every crime I have seen leaves something. That is the Lockhart principle. If you come in contact with any scene crime, you leave some matter. Though they actually brushed everything, painted, we could get blood stain in some of the walls, the handle and the dicky, and we could compare that it was that of the victim. And finally, these 2 people were given, but though forensic advice for polygraph test and narco and other things, it was not done, and the mere punishment of 10 years were given because the crime couldn't be proved to greater extent. This Priyadarshini Matu, it's a very rare case where a boy was teasing the girl in the hospital colleges, And one day when she was alone, he came and tried to rape her. When she refused, he strangulated her and put in Delhi, you have that firing and other place at the thing where he put her body into it and went away. The remnants were sent to the laboratory. The boy's father was IPS officer, so the case got so much delayed. But after about 7 years, the punishment was given, and 302 and 376 was proved. So this is again a case of an Excelite where the robbery was done to the extent of 1.5 crores and persons were killed. And they left behind, you can see that they tie a scarf type, and that was having the spit. From the spit, the DNA could be done. So the court said this really landmark report of forensic, which could prove who were the actual culprits, and punishment was given. There are many cases where you do not have eyewitnesses, like Sahar Airport rape case. Within 8 months, only with DNA report, it was found. A foreigner case was proved within 6 months with DNA report. Gang rape of Bijal Joshi of Ahmedabad, all of you all must have read. Then mentally retarded girl who cannot explain what has happened, but DNA could prove what has happened. So many different types of cases DNA has. This is one of the new thing I think you all must have heard. Every soil has microbes. So we did a project with the chief scientist of FBI, Dr. Bruce and Edward of Home Office, and we did a very beautiful project by Department of Science and Technology to find out DNA of microbes in the soil. And this could help in the blast case in the local train you all must have had in 2006 when 7 compartment was blasted and 219 people died and 714 injured. So in this case, what has happened is the RDX was from Nasik they carried where it was seized by the police, and the soil which was there was compared with the soils where actually these whole activities was going on by doing the DNA of the microbes of the soils to make it a very accurate case. And it was solved that they were the culprit, but because they were falling short of RDX, they used petroleum product and ammonium nitrate, and the more or less a very big damage could happen and so much of death could happen. So this was a case which was presented at international conferences and very well appreciated how DNA can be used not only for a human thing, but other material also to solve the crime. Now, 2611, all of you know, it was one of the worst things anyone can think about. You can see how the Taj has been damaged. In this forensic, and in this 166 people died, 300 injured, and forensic revealed the presence of RDX, electronic surveillance revealed the date and the time of the blast, CCTV proved the terrorist picture. GPS gave the link of the communication from the neighboring country, but DNA proved the identity of the suspect away. So, Ashraf, who was there, his DNA compared with the sweat on the life jacket tallied and thereby gave a big lead that he was the one, along with the other 9, who was involved in this terrorist activity. All of you all know this was a very big case, and all the evidences was placed in front of the international courts where it was taken very strongly and the case was proved. This you must be knowing Bill Clinton, how a DNA could prove that he had raped his secretary. So in absence of any eyewitness, one can prove very big case, paternity case. You know, one of the leading Congress leader refused to recognize his son by his kid, and finally it was proved he is the biological father of the son Rohit. So likewise in September 11, because you know, in all mass disaster, claim is the one thing. So to give the proper person, you have to do the DNA of the remnants and find out really the kin of the people get the. If you remember in Delhi, there was a very big fire when, you know, about 4 kilometer line was there for the claim. When we declared we are going to do DNA of the remnants, hardly 10 people stood, others ran away. So that is how DNA can be used in mass this thing. Okay, so now wild animal, we have lot of applications where identification, matching of the tissue samples in illegal sales and all, then identification of unknown tissues involved in commercial poaching and selling, and so many mixed games and leverly sauce and meats which has all type of mixed animals meat. So those also can be done very well with this DNA. And very soon this National Forensic University is preparing a library for all wild elements available in our country, so that this can have a better platform for identification. So now I will just give few insight of some important cases which I handled. 93 blast is one of the case which I handled, in which all of you all know it's a very big case. Within an hour, about 12 places were attacked, and there were about 257 deaths and 14 injured. And I had to really handle single-handedly with 7 to 8 officers the whole case for 30 days without going home. I had worked on this, and our reports were at par with Interpol, for which I was invited to Lyon. And I'm happy to say one of the producer, Harman Baweja, is preparing a biopic focusing on 93 blast. So please see this picture. So you'll get a picture of how I handle this. So there were many other such cases, you know, this blast in the local train where, so these people appoint chemists who advise if RDX is not there, what are the other things they can use and create the same amount of damages. I'm going to hurriedly show you. And on top of that, when we present at international conferences, we find that we are at par with international people, and they take it for publishing in the journals. These are some of the tests we normally carry out. Out of this, 4 to 5 are carried out depending upon the nature of the cases. Now, lie detector, I said, is a very simple thing where if you lie, your cognitive center shows some changes in blood pressure, skin resistance, and other things which are measured. Computerized measurements are done, and you can easily find out who is doing, and then brain mapping, signature, and lie detector. So in some of these cases, along with DNA, the lie detector had to corroborate it and give a scientific reconstruction of the cases. So most of these we present at international forum. It's a very important case. A Nigerian was carrying brown sugar in his stomach in the form of capsule. One of it broke off and he swooned. And within 1 hour, we could give the report and he was held up. So this is now Telgi case has come as a scam of 2003, but this was handled completely by us, in which the big instruments like VSC and other things, where what he did is he bought the write-off machines and somehow managed to get the stamp paper, and he started giving stamp paper and stamps, whereas the government, there was no cash, but stamps were getting sold off. After 3 years, it could be bought, and within so whole over India, it was spread, and about 30,000 crores money he could get it. And all the cases were done in Mumbai laboratory when the High Court said we have the latest equipment and expertise and we should do it. So these are the typical instrument. This is video spectral comparator. All these we get in the modernization and get. See, simple thing I will show you how, if you don't want someone to see how they spill ink, but this can be done by being at different wavelength. Again, you can read out. It's a case where 80 rupees check have changed to 36,000 for 80 and the bank has passed the amount. So nowadays, so many type of cases happening. It's again a hit and run where, because there was no eyewitness, they were trying to put it off. Then we said 112 milligram alcohol is there and 30 is the minimum. And we had to stand and make a big sound. Then the High Court gave the punishment as per this thing. So now coming to few of the important digital case, just for our, because all of us are using, nowadays, digital crime has become the biggest crime in the, this is one of the case in which Cosmos Bank, 94 crores were just sniffed off in a day or two by creating proxy system by a malware and putting across the core bank system. They had cloned the ATM card and they could withdraw the money so fast. Within 2 days, 94 crores were pitched off. We could do the complete analysis, CCTV and the electronic device. Everything was sent to the laboratory. We could do the digital forensic and show from where actually in UP these people were doing these things. So this is again in Thana, where call center people used to just send random call and emails to all the foreigners saying that they are defaulted in IT issue and these people are DRI officers and say that this much dollars you have to pay as a concession. So many people fall victim of that and they found it was a fake thing and we could really solve the whole thing by doing the digital forensic on the devices. So this was a very important CBI case in which they found the mobile was having some malicious activities. So when we saw, each picture was having some message like date, time, location for committing some terrorist activity. And when we gave this detail to the investigating people, they could really stop one of the biggest attack. So now we always train all the judges because they should understand the forensic report, then only the cases can go ahead. So lot of workshop for the judges. We had also the application of DNA in forensic with international people and judges, and narcotics were in the Supreme Court, so on. So normally acted nowadays, in family court, the biggest activity is DNA because of the paternity case. When there is a family dispute, this child is not mine, we do DNA and do the paternity and get the proper report for it. Training police, talking with the administrative, we upgrade ourselves normally with workshop with technical institutes like Baba Atomic, and then other places have national level conferences. We have awareness center as police academy so that they learn about forensic and its activities. All of you all must be knowing there are 3 institutes in Maharashtra, Nagpur, Pune, Nagpur, Aurangabad, and Mumbai. I was the technical where we have started now. National Forensic University is one of the biggest right now where I'm an academic council member. And all the activity and all the branch of forensic science as far as the technical research and all developments are going on. This is under the Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. So we have regular interaction. I visited about 7 countries. And then I have put in this HELIC advisory, which is also a recognized research center by the government, by the National Forensic University. We normally do document, handwriting, fingerprint, digital, psychological, personal assessments. This is the academic council meeting, and this is how my lab looks. And it has all type. We do all industry aware. By ignorance, so many accidents happen, and tell them how it happened and what should be the precaution. So this is again mobile forensic, all of you know why we lost our Arushi case, because a proper sampling was not done, and that is how. So taking forensic common person is my thing. So I normally give lectures to all the people like Rotary Club, this is R.R. Patil arranging, Time Again Women, then community meets. And by God grace, I had been awarded for all, right from international to national level, awards for best scientist, lifetime achievement, and everything. I'm thankful to that. First, I start with my day with exercise, and I'm highly traditional. And recently, my 75th birthday was celebrated with my children and my family, and I intend to take forensic to the all sector of the society for crime-free thing. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So if Tripti, if she is okay, I can ask her to give, or Are Omkar,
I think she has logged out. Can you please ask her to log in?
I'll just call her. I'm just busy. अरे फोन का है दीप्ति, उसको बुलाओ ना, लोड किया उसका.
So while we wait for Dr. Tripti to join, we may have a few interactive, questions where those participants who are attending online can ask a question or two from the speaker.
हाँ,
I'll request whoever wishes to ask a question to maybe post it on the chat box so that we can identify the person and pose it to the
hello,
speaker.
hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Tripti is saying she has loaded the PPT, but she's not able to join because 100. Can you give the this thing as
Ma'am,
not
please ask her
participant
to
and
join.
as
Please ask her to send a request. We have space. We can make her join.
to whom she is trying to.
Technical
But
college,
Just
yes, I
click on the link.
पुन्हा जॉईन करायला सांगा. She should get that admin this thing, no?
Ma'am, we just received a request and she's joining now.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Dr. Jyoti, have you joined?
Am I audible?
Yes, please.
I have shared my PPT with Dr. Krishnamurthy because I am unable to share from my side.
So I'll request Krishnamurthy to please load the PPT and we can go ahead. Krishnamurthy, ma'am.
Maybe you should ring her up. Madam Krishnamurthy is, I think, sort of logged out or.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you can see.
But we can't see the
Mhm.
presentation. We can just.
PPT.
You have to. Tripti, you want us to operate for you?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, next. Want to say something? You say next, we will do it.
But the slides
Okay.
have been opened, madam.
Huh?
And we haven't, the PPT
There's
is still
no
not
slideshow.
open.
Like
Yes.
in mode में डालो ना.
And now it's there.
No, this is not the one.
This is the one, no?
No, no. The one which I have shared on WhatsApp.
On WhatsApp.
Yeah.
WhatsApp में देखो.
Yes. Please put it on a presentation mode.
Presentation.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, one and all. Firstly, I extend my gratitude to organizers on this online lecture and Dr. Rukmini Krishnamurthy for providing me with this opportunity. I welcome you all to the basics of forensic DNA analysis, and today we will explore the fascinating world of DNA analysis in crime investigations from sample collection to profile matching. Next, please. Hello.
Yes.
Forensic DNA analysis is highly accurate and reliable, making it a vital tool in identifying suspect in criminal cases and finding missing persons investigation. Next, please. Finding missing persons investigation, historical events, confirming paternity, and managing mass disaster cases. Alec Jeffrey developed DNA fingerprinting and laying the foundation for modern DNA profiling. Next, please. We know that DNA is a genetic material found in every cell, providing a blueprint for our physical traits through nucleotides such as adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. Packed into chromosomes in the nucleus, each cell typically contains 46 chromosomes, including X and Y chromosomes. And nearly every cell in our body shares the same DNA, which is mostly located in the nucleus with a small amount in mitochondria. Next, please. Now, how the forensic scientists identify people using DNA. Next, please. Forensic scientists rely mostly on various sources of DNA, including biological material collected from the crime scene. As you can see, the possible sources of biological evidence which usually encountered on the crime scene. Next, please. In the laboratory, DNA testing begins with an extraction of DNA. Extraction is a chemical process by which DNA is released from the cell and other cellular components are removed, leaving the pure sample of DNA in the aqueous solution. Then quantitation is carried out. It is a process of determining how much DNA you have. Then next is the PCR amplification, which involves replicating DNA to produce billion copies of DNA for the analysis. Next, please. What if you find a very little DNA? In that case, polymerase chain reaction is carried out. Polymerase chain reaction is the amplifies the DNA exponentially, increasing a specific DNA regions. The resulting fragments of this region are labeled with a fluorescent tag, which are then separated and analyzed using capillary gel electrophoresis, which determines the size of the fragment and display the information in the form of a graph. Next, please. This is the graph which shows 13 core regions of DNA profile. Next, please. Now, this figure shows labeled fragments which pass through the capillary and are separated by their size. The fluorescence emitted is captured by triangular ABI prism, and color separation is displayed on a CCD panel. Next, please. This process allows the visualization and interpretation of DNA fragments, leading to a DNA profile. As you can see here, the peaks which are colorful, and this DNA profile is usually compared with the known DNA profile. Next, please. Now let's discuss about the basis of DNA profiling. We know that 99.9% of the human genome is mostly identical except identical twins. But there are regions of variation, and that occurs in a non-coding region. Investigation into these regions reveals repeated units of DNA known as short tandem repeats, designated as STRs, which vary in length among the individuals. STR contain repeating units of short DNA sequences, and number of repeats on a STR is referred to as alleles. Next, please. Short tandem repeat loci are most informative and are key DNA markers which are crucial for identifying individual biological material in both paternity testing as well as in forensic investigations. Next, please. Now, what type of variation is there? There are length variation in short tandem repeats as well as there are sequence variations, which occurs due to insertion and deletion of single nucleotide. Next, please. There are three types of DNA markers, which are usually utilized in forensic testing. Autosomal markers are used for identification. Then there are Y chromosome marker, which is used for which is a paternal lineage, and then there are mitochondrial markers. Next, please. Now, before we proceed, let's review some concepts. Alleles are different forms of gene contributing to genetic variation between the individuals. In DNA profiling, alleles represent the number of repeats at STR locus, which is unique to individuals. Alleles present at specific position on the genome, and this region is known as locus. Alleles may be homozygous, that is identical, or heterozygous, that is different. Next, please. Now, CODIS is the software which stands for Combined DNA Index System, developed by FBI, and it plays a pivotal role in linking violent crimes by electronically exchanging and comparing DNA profiles. Next, please. The figure shows forensic STR markers which are present on a human chromosome. FBI has identified 13 core STR loci that are routinely used in identification of individuals in United States, and Interpol has identified 10 loci for United States and 9 loci have been identified for Indians. These loci serves as a foundation for DNA profiling. These 13 STR loci are used for identification with statistical calculation, determining the frequency of observed genotype in population. Next, please. Now, this figure illustrates a single profile. You can see here all the 13 loci. To match DNA from the crime scene to victim or a suspect, the lab needs their known biological samples for comparison. And this sample is known as reference sample. Without reference sample, DNA profile by itself is useless. Next, please. Now, this image demonstrates the initial 4 loci in the DNA of unknown evidence collected at the crime scene, which match with the suspect sample. The same thing is repeated with all the 13 loci. Next, please. Actually, in practice, DNA evidence is often contaminated with mixtures from multiple individuals, posing challenges in analysis. In this example, every marker found in the suspect sample is also present in the mixed profile obtained from the evidence. Next, please. Partial profile may also arise due to degradation or low DNA quantity. So, storage plays an important role while handling DNA samples. Otherwise, it leads to a partial profile. So, in this figure, partial DNA profile is displayed, which shows missing peaks at 2 loci. Next, please. Usually, in DNA profiling, software or analysts often establishes a threshold level. This level determines whether the peaks representing DNA fragments are considered sufficiently reliable. Next, please. In laboratory matches, crime scene evidence to a suspect by comparing allele profiles of all 13 core STR loci developed by the FBI from both the samples, that is reference sample as well as suspect sample. If they don't match, the suspect is excluded, and if all the 13 STRs match, usually Hardy-Weinberg's principle is applied for calculating how often the genotype appears in suspect's ethnic group based on the frequency of alleles. Next, please. DNA analysis played a crucial and critical role in confirming the identity of Saddam Hussein through the utilization of Y chromosome test. That is the usually Y chromosome analysis is performed for paternity testing. Authorities verified his male lineage by taking the samples from his two sons, showing how DNA is an essential tool in identifying people. Now, advances in DNA technology such as next generation sequencing have improved the efficacy and accuracy of DNA profiling, enabling analysis of a smaller DNA samples and also mixed and complex samples. Next, please. These are the references which I have used. Next, please. Thank you for your attention. If you have any question, please feel free to contact me via mail. Thank you. Thanks again. Hello.
Thank you, everyone, for joining this meeting, and thank you, Rukmini Krishmurthy ma'am, and thank you to Trupti for such a nice and very intriguing lecture. And I would request if there are any questions, please write in the message box, in the chat box. One question is there. What is the scope of nursing in forensic?
Well, nursing in forensic. Well, every field has a scope in forensic because forensic labs need technicians, and nurses can also contribute their knowledge in as a technicians.
Ma'am, I would just like to add here that MUHS Gene Health and the GIBN department is running a course. It's a certificate course of 6 months, and we
Yes.
are training students who have completed BSc, DMLT, and BSc nursing in technical knowledge. Basically, we are biology techniques.
I think I can answer this.
Course and
actually, this National Forensic University has a forensic nursing courses, which can help the nurses to have more specialized fields. So we are running those forensic nursing, and mainly these type of nurses are utilized to handle victim of any event like rape or assault and other things, so that they learn how to handle it, not like any normal patients, and so many other things, how to handle the evidence immediately, what to do, and other things. So you have a good scope for forensic nursing, and I think right now in India we have it at National Forensic University. Other teaching institute are trying to get it.
Dr. Rukmini, I would like to ask whether are they trained for the any molecular techniques over there, or just how to handle the patients, crime patients, or something like that, or because we here are giving the basic molecular biology training. So, like how Dr. Trupti is trained in molecular biology techniques. So, is that university is giving such type of training?
Right now, what is happening is in forensic laboratory, most of the forensic laboratory under the modernization scheme have DNA separate laboratory. In our Maharashtra, practically all the labs have. In-house trainings are given, but these national forensic universities, they have specialized training also, being a teaching organizations. And many of us send people there to get specialized, because they have the latest equipment, right from touch DNA to so many nano DNA and whatnot. But as far as the cases are concerned, we have Right now, the regular DNA only being done, but a lot of research are being done, like
Well,
right from sweat to fingerprint, whether DNA can be extracted.
I think Dr. Kadu has a question.
Thank you, sir. Respected Dr. Krishnamurthy ma'am, I have one question. Is there any regulation to establish the DNA fingerprinting in the lab so that the paternity, maternity, and all these tests can be done? Can a private lab can do it, and is it accepted by the law and order?
Actually, right now, the HELIC which I'm handling, because I have people who have studied DNA, we are in collaboration with the DNA, Diagnostic DNA Laboratory, when court sent, mainly family court sent for paternity, we restrict ourselves only to the paternity cases. As per the law, anyone who have been trained and who are working in a forensic laboratory can give report in any legal case, be it a digital or DNA or handwriting or whatever it is. So that is how it goes. And on 22nd and 3rd of April, I've been invited by the National Human Rights Commission to understand what is the setup of the private. So, like many of these, like doctors have councils, bar council is there, but for forensic till now, nothing is planned out. So my concern is now to have a council for forensic, and all the private forensic should come under one umbrella, and they should have a basic requirement of qualification, infrastructures and training and other things when like any other country, because government is overloaded with cases and lot of pendencies are there. The private can handle, provided you have the required expertise, infrastructure and training for that. So at national level, these are being discussed, and even Amit Shah is very interested to see how forensic reaches every sector. Right now, after in HELIC for 10 years, I see how in corporate industry, it's a bare need. But they don't go to the police. Only government laboratory can do only things which are registered with police.
Yes.
For the others, there is no authentic forensic laboratory except for Pharna 2. But we have to come up because so many students are coming out. How do we absorb them and give them training? And this is a very big question. And we senior, like I have been like 5 decades, 50 years now I have completed in forensic, worked for 34 years in government and now with a technical person and into the private. So we are coming up to see how this science can reach to every common man, because the type of the crimes, the type of the events and everything going on really requires real-time people who can handle these things.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So I request our respected censor if we can proceed for the under the guidance of Rukmini madam for this our Gene Health Center for the DNA fingerprinting and this one. Thank you.
We'll be more than happy, sir. Thank you for asking and bringing up that topic to build a program and a course, what earlier we called modules. And we can always plan. We can take her experience, her input from this. I will request Dr. Anuradha Chogle. I must thank ma'am the most for, convincing Dr. Krishnamurthy to come on this platform and speak. So I'll ask Dr. Anuradha Chogle to sum up and conclude in remarks from. Yes, madam.
I am really very thankful to Dr. Anuradha Chogle, who happened to meet me, and DNA person. Actually, I learned a lot from her, and we were coordinating to see how her knowledge of DNA can help us in many fields of forensics. So we are also trying to get some project in common, because I always like to do a lot of R&D in diagnostic DNA, behavioral thing which we are thinking. See, instead of saying crime is happening, criminal is, no one is born as a criminal. How does he, what is the circumstances and what makes him to do a crime? So if we can really find out the actual personality by many means, so That's all. I think Dr. Anuradha is giving a lot of input for us into this line. And I'm really thankful to Dr. Anuradha and the committee today for giving us and sharing our views in that. We'll be happy to share whatever is required from forensic angle to yours. Thank you.
Prabhula ma'am.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Rukmini, for sharing me. And since we both are good friends, we know each other, and we have shared and we have discussed on so many cases on how to do it and all. And I think Dr. Trupti has very well explained about this various technologies based on the PCR, like SPR and brain signatures and so many things. Like really, it was very wonderful. I hope the young generation have learned a lot of techniques. But yes, as Dr. Kadu has intimated, we would definitely like to establish a DNA fingerprinting lab with your and your colleagues' help at Gene Health Laboratory. That will be of great. It will be of great opportunity for the students as well to learn from us, and with your guidance. And Dr. Krishnamurthy, yes, you. The hats off to you. You have handled so many important cases at the national and the state level as well, like 1993 blast, and you were the pioneer and you were the main, you played a main role in identifying the criminals in that. So I'm very happy. I hope all of the today's delegates who have joined have learned a lot from you and Dr. Trupti. Thank you so much.
Thank you, all the organizers. Thank you.
And the session, I thank the speakers, namely Dr. Krishnamurthy and Dr. Trupti. I thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor who heard through the entire proceedings, and she was so interested, and I'm sure with the input that we have received from Professor Kadu, we'll carry forward the contributions. I thank Dr. Rajendra Bangal, our registrar, who was also in attendance in the meeting. And of course, Anuradha Chogle ma'am, once more, thank you for getting such a great speaker. And not last but not the least, we have all the members who have attended. Feel free to contact us in the beginning, like we said, for forensic related, any molecular related activities that you're interested in. And of course, as far as the patient care related activities in your various centers, we will be more than happy to collaborate and help out. You all have our email ID, via which we have communicated with you all. So I look forward to hearing from all of you, and we will keep posting as and when we have similar lectures in days to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you.